The sun had barely risen over Jerusalem when the young boy stepped onto the palace steps, the weight of a crown too heavy for his 16 years. The city buzzed with whispers and celebrations, its people mourning the death of King Uzziah while looking with cautious hope to his successor. Uzziah, also called Azariah in the records, was suddenly thrust into a world of responsibility far beyond his youth. He was no longer simply a prince walking the halls of David's ancient city. He was now king, the chosen ruler of Judah. From the beginning, Uzziah approached the throne with humility. Unlike some who might have seized power through force or ambition, he sought guidance and strength from the one source he trusted, the Lord. Prophets and priests watched him closely, noting a reverence in his heart that promised a reign of wisdom and blessing. The scriptures tell us that he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father David had done. 2 Chronicles 26:4, signaling a ruler whose priorities were grounded not in wealth or glory, but in faithfulness. Under Uzziah's leadership, Judah began to thrive. Military campaigns succeeded, cities were fortified, and the land flourished under careful management. The people felt secure, their confidence in the young king growing with each victory and each act of wise governance. It seemed as though divine favor rested on his shoulders, guiding his steps as surely as it had guided David's. But even in these early days of triumph, subtle tensions began to emerge. The young king's success attracted attention from neighboring nations, and with power came influence, wealth, and the temptations that accompany both. The line between devotion and pride, service and self-interest, had yet to be tested, but the stage was set. The boy king who had started with humility would soon face the first trials that would reveal the depth of his heart, the resilience of his faith, and the shadow that prosperity could cast over even the most righteous ruler. As the years unfolded, Uzziah's reign blossomed into a period of remarkable prosperity. The young king, once inexperienced and tentative, now commanded a well-trained army that marched with confidence across Judah's borders. Cities were reinforced with towering walls, gates gleamed with fresh ironwork, and watchtowers punctuated the hillsides, symbols of both security and the king's growing authority. Under his guidance, agriculture thrived. Fields yielded abundant harvests, and vineyards and olive groves spread across the land, feeding the people and filling the royal coffers. Before we continue with Uzziah's dramatic turning point, take a quick moment to subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss the next powerful Bible story that brings history and faith to life. If you're finding this story eye-opening, hit the like button to let others know and help more people discover these timeless lessons. The king himself became a figure of awe. Skilled in strategy and deeply intelligent, Uzziah demonstrated wisdom beyond his years. Craftsmen, builders, and engineers flourished under his patronage, introducing innovative techniques in construction and warfare that would secure Judah's strength for decades. His victories and advancements were widely celebrated, and the fame of his reign extended beyond the borders of his kingdom, drawing envoys from distant lands who came to witness Judah's rise. Yet prosperity carries its own peril. The young king, accustomed to success and unchallenged authority, began to sense a power within himself that rivaled even the guidance of God. The applause of the people, the loyalty of the army, and the wealth of the nation created an intoxicating sense of confidence. Each triumph reinforced the illusion that the kingdom owed its greatness to the king alone. And so, beneath the veneer of achievement and divine favor, the first seeds of pride were sown. What began as humble devotion would soon be tested, for the boy king who had walked faithfully in the early years of his reign now faced the subtle allure of self-exaltation, the quiet danger that would grow and ultimately shape the fate of Judah. The pivotal moment came when Uzziah, now seasoned in rule and accustomed to his successes, allowed ambition and pride to cloud his judgment. Scripture records that he entered the temple of the Lord to burn incense on the altar, a duty reserved strictly for the priests. 2 Chronicles 26:16-18. It was a bold, forbidden act, a breach of sacred law that revealed how deeply the king's confidence had shifted from God to himself. 80 courageous priests confronted him, their voices trembling yet firm, urging the king to remember the boundaries ordained by the Lord. For a brief, tense moment, The palace and the holy sanctuary seemed to hold its breath. The king's face, once radiant with youthful humility, now bore the flush of anger and defiance. The moment was both dramatic and tragic. The king, who had thrived through faith, was about to witness the immediate consequence of overstepping divine limits. Suddenly, a visible mark appeared on Uzziah's forehead: leprosy. The disease, regarded not only as a physical affliction, but also as a symbol of spiritual impurity, immediately separated him from the temple, the court, and the people he had long ruled. In that instant, the boy who had grown into a prosperous and confident king was reminded of a timeless truth. No matter how high a ruler rises, all power must remain under God's authority. The once celebrated king was forced into isolation, quarantined from public life, and his son Jotham assumed governance over the kingdom in his stead. Uzziah could witness from afar the consequences of his actions, both the judgment of God and the enduring stability of Judah under his family line. His story became a living warning. Even a heart that begins in faith can falter under the weight of success, pride, and unchecked ambition. Do we remember the giver of our gifts, or do we let prosperity lure us into believing we no longer need his guidance? Subscribe now and tap the notification bell so you never miss a powerful Bible story.